So, there's been a lot of hand-wringing in the last week over a move by the Alabama State Senate to allow Briarwood Presbyterian Church to create its very own police force. Some people are worried that this is going to be an armed militia enforcing the Bible. It's most certainly not that. The church maintains that it's just two guys in a car doing security, which is a little more complicated than that. Here's our explainer. By any account, Briarwood Presbyterian is a huge church community. According to their website, the church has a congregation of 4,000 parishioners, and the private school, which serves kindergarten all the way through high school, has 2,000 students and is growing. Then there's the seminary, along with other events and meetings going on both campuses all the time, according to administrators. At the moment, the church employs off-duty police officers to act as security at its events, which, according to administrators, is costly and inefficient. They want to have a full-time police officer on the church staff. Many critics have pointed out, however, that there's a couple of problems with this plan on its surface. The first comes in the form of accountability and transparency. Most police forces serve public entities, so ultimately they're accountable to the community that they serve. As a public entity, they should also strive towards some level of transparency to the public at large, so that both journalists and members of the public can see their goings-on. Transparency begets accountability, and vice versa. Briarwood has been accused before of covering up or attempting to cover up a drug bust at their school in February of 2015. In the wake of that, even the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, a public entity, was reluctant to share details about what went down at the school. It's difficult to believe that a private police force would be more transparent. Second is power. Specifically, what kinds of things will they have the authority to enforce, and from where do they derive that authority? Briarwood does not have a legislative body from which it can make legitimate laws for these police officers to enforce. So at first glance, it seems as if the officers would be tasked with enforcing the laws outlined by the state of Alabama and the municipality in which the campus resides. The proposed bill, though, is only 2 pages long and does not elaborate on this topic. However, officers employed by Briarwood, private or otherwise, cannot enforce laws or regulations that blatantly violate civil rights or constitutional guidelines. People inside the church's 2 campuses are still protected by the rights they have as citizens of the United States. Third is the separation of church and state. Speaking of the Constitution, many critics of this bill are saying that the state, a public entity, are granted policing powers, and that vesting that power in a religious entity is a violation of the Establishment Clause of the United States Constitution. However, this kind of legislation is not unheard of, even in the state of Alabama. Samford University, a small, private Christian college not far from Briarwood, maintains its own police force that operates only on its campus. The church and state question is likely one that will be handled by the courts when and if the legislation passes. The Senate has already passed the bill, which means it moves to the House of Representatives next week. Kay Ivey, the new governor, is expected to sign it soon after. As this story develops, we'll keep you updated. For AL.com, I'm Ian Hoppy.